What's up, my people? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Team Money Trading Capital, a trade that I took from gold roundabout here to the downside. Just to show you guys what I look for. Most of the times, my strategy, you guys, is being exposed, but it's kind of difficult to understand why I use all of these. So the reason I use a daily time frame or candle is that a daily candle helps me have a range. Possibly when price does break below here, it can go further to the downside. If it does break above there, it can go further to the upside. Or I can take an entry from somewhere in the middle here where wicks are when you take to the left, because they are support and resistance around up on these levels as well. That's why it ties in with everything. As you can see now, pushing to the left side, we do have some critical resistance right there and support. When price is above, they become support, and below it becomes resistance, right? So at that current level, that's where I was focused on, but I use only one daily time frame candle to actually figure all that out. Some people will then just you know do all these things and trying to understand what happened in the previous past. Well, using one daily candle will actually just show you it is exactly the same places where you would look if you were to minimize your um, chart. So now let's get into the trade that I took today. So previous candle, I covered the top wick and the bottom wick, and then I simply went to the 4 hour time frame. So I went to the 4 hour time frame, and then I had to wait. Now, basically, what I like to do is to refine my zones. Refining my zones makes my zones smaller. Also, it's something that also helps with my stop loss, where my stop loss becomes even smaller. So I refine this one to the lowest. All right, lowest bodies. I don't have to complicate my trading strategy. It works for me. If you want fancy words, fair value gaps, and all that, you can then go what SMC. But I am not SMC trader. I'm a pure price action trader, and I do simple things and keep it simple. It's not about the strategy. It's not about how fancier words you can get out of the market. It's not about that. If you fix your mentality and just take a trade, knowing if it will win, knowing if it's not going to win, you'll also uh, be happy because you know you will be managing your risk. Let me just fix this. Right. So the strategy is not really my that's why I even posted on social media, because you still don't know how to. You can have the strategy, you can have everybody's strategy, but if you don't fix your mind, you'll still not be profitable. So I keep my trading simple and straightforward so that I can know I can look for the same thing daily. If it's not there, I'm not going to take a trade, right? So why force it? So now let's get into the trade. Sorry, I like to speak about psychology a lot because people still don't understand till this day. So now let's get into what I looked for again. Now I looked at the top side where I can find bottom wicks, candlesticks that are touching the zone. As you can see, I never pushed it to the left side too much. I then found this one right about here, this minor zone, where I then looked for a possible sell to the downside. Now looking at this, let me just make it more neat. Looking at how I covered this by using only a 4 hour candle to determine where my minor zone is basically covering top wicks, right? Here we cover top wicks. Now I just want to cover the bottom wicks of the lowest one touching the zone, right? So now the next thing I just told myself is, okay, in what phase am I? I can see that we had a great push to the upside. Price then exhausted a little bit here, and then price then pushed to the upside again. And then now we had that push to the downside, breaking that higher low, right? So when that happened, I was like, okay, I will look for possible sells from here. If price does break above here, I will then look for my continuous buys. So I then went to my 1 hour time frame to do what I do best, which is refining my zones. So now looking at this, how nice it will tie in with everything. So now refining, I couldn't refine this one. This one stayed the same, right? So as you can see, my zones, I only have 3 zones. So my range will be from here if I get that sell, which I did get. I'll show you now how I got into the sell. This will be my range. My take profit will be at the lowest right here. And then if it does break above here, my take profit will be at the top right there. So this is how simple I keep it and straightforward. So now just making this look neat, right? This, and then refining to the lowest here, making my stop loss smaller, or just making sure that I can see what price is doing. So now that's all I have to do, and now I just have to wait and see how price reacts here. So now we can see we have some sort of a great push to the upside. We can see we have a consolidation phase here. So for me right now, looking at this price pushing to the upside like this, and then like that, into that zone, I would like to see a change of character around that. If I'm continuing with the sales, which I did get, I'll show you now. So all I had to do was wait for price to come into my zone and then show me some sort of change of character. So now let's go to the lower time frames because I used the 1 hour, the 30 minute, and the 15 minutes. So now look what price does. Price now taps into my zone, right? It comes into my zone, and then we have that sudden change of character. So I'll show you on the 15 minute what I mean by that change of character. Change of character, price pushing to the upside, right? And now pushing to the upside, and then we have what? Sudden fail push, and then we have a sudden downward push and breaking that lower, that higher low right here. All right, let's go to the 15 minutes so you can see clearly. Usually I just use this. I just use a line like this to help me understand the lower high, right? I mean the higher low, sorry. Right, I just use it like this. So what was that for? Just seeing that we are now in an upward push on the 50-minute time frame. Every time frame has um, a story, or every time frame has something to say. So as you can see, we have this little bit of an uptrend here, and then we suddenly have what? An impulsive push to the downside. So that's where I then looked for my 50% retracement entry. You know all about 50% right now, right about here. Stop loss just above there, as you can see, and then take profit right about here. Okay, these zones are my range, then that's why I use them. I don't want to, even if it goes lower than that, I don't want to be in the trade. I know where I want to get out. We got tapped in, and then we got tapped in, and then take profit hit. All right, simple, straightforward. T Money signing out.